Hi, and welcome to Tabletop Tip of the Day. My name is Storm Cook, and today we're going to be looking at an online GM's tool called Scabard, which I happen to like very much. I am not being sponsored, I'm not being asked to do a review. I just think this is a really useful tool, and I'm quite enjoying it. So, without further ado, let's crack right on into it. Okay? So this is the landing page for Scabard with one B. I'm not sure why it has one B, but hey, Scabard maybe, I don't know. So, anyways, I'm just going to log in, and you'll see I've been using this program for a couple of weeks or online thing, and I do have the legendary subscription, so that allows me to use maps and stuff. So the campaign that I am doing is called Lygosa, which is for my mercenaries and merchants and mystics playtest, and it's sort of sword and sorcery and stuff. And as you can see, this is Legos, and this is what a campaign looks like. And I'm gonna actually go through putting together the first parts of an adventure so you can see that. Um, so here we are at my campaign, and if I wanted to go into my campaign and edit it, I just go up here and hit edit, and this brings me to the edit screen, and I can write a little bit more about it. Right now, this is pretty bare bones. I don't usually use much on this page. Um, there's a there's a place that you can do maps, and they can actually put pins on it, but I don't like to do that because so far you can't really move the pins around. That's probably my one negative thing to say about it. Um, so this is a really cool feature. So you build connections in Scabard to your adventures, to your characters, to your events, whatever, and you can just click on them and then bring them up. And if you double click on them, um, it'll go to that person. I thought maybe I'm just not. So, anyways, for some reason, and this is a table of contents that will show you again. This is another way to get to things that you want to get to. So, the story so far is our player characters are coming back to Lygosa, and I know that I have two players who are going to be out, and I'm left with two players. So I want to do a very simple sort of like sidebar adventure, and I am going to create that adventure right now. So yes, I want to create a new adventure, and we're going to call this Storm Clouds over Lygosa, partly because there's some stuff happening in the background that might affect the players. Now I have all of this stuff here, and you don't have to use this. You don't have to choose the plot or anything like this. I guess the PC group is the party, right? So the first challenge is brief summary, band loose band of PCs. They don't have an official name. If they came up with an official name, I'd use one, but I'm not going to do that. So that actually creates an entry, and you can go in and edit that and make connections to that and all kinds of stuff. So the first challenge for the Act One is there's the Tower of the Moon, and I'll get more into that later. Um, and okay, Tower of Moon, brief summary. A tower that keeps appearing, whoops, on the full moon, corrupting a vineyard. Okay, and then I know that the owner of the vineyard, I've actually pre-written a lot of this stuff in order to keep this video kind of short, is named Hannah Tanalorn. And if you've read any of Moorcock Elric's stuff, I would say the fourth book, you will see where I'm getting the inspiration from. Excuse me, as I drink. So the first challenge is we're going to just have it be the first floor, all right? Okay, and sorry, for some reason that two ghoulish adversaries. Oh wait. Okay, so yeah, so that's basically the adventure, and so I'm gonna save this. Okay, and that's been created in my campaign. Um, and so if I can go into Hannah Tanalorn, I can do an image. Let's see. I am going to edit and go to image URLs, and I've already gotten this up on my second screen, which you can't see, but I am just going to copy and paste that image in there, and I am going to take away that because that was the wrong thing. And brief description of Hannah is I didn't write a description for her ahead of time, so let's give her something brief. Highly, whoops, highly. I'm blanking on words. Highly efficient uh, owner of Tanalorn Vineyards. And then I can go and save that. And yes, so this is one of the great things about Scabard. When you write things into descriptions, they will give the option of saying, do you want to make that an entry? And yeah, I do want to make Tanalorn Vineyards an entry. That is going to be a place. And, highly, can't type today, highly respected vineyard making Tanalorn red and Tanalorn table. Okay. And then I can connect that. Choose connection. Um, birthplace as home of. We're going to just make that home of. Yep. And there. And now these and then you can see that over on the right hand side. There's going to be a column, and it says home is Tanalord Vineyards, and she's the protagonist of Storm Clouds over Lygosa. So I can click on this stuff, and that will take me to the adventure, and then I can edit this. Changing it up. Like, I don't really want basic adventure there. A brief summary adventure. Going on's in civil. I don't know. Hang on. Let me see. Houses fight. Wizards tower appears. That's pretty much it. And then one of the things I want to do is I'm going to edit this stuff. This is sort of their boilerplate, and I don't really want to use that. So what I'm going to use is I have three things that are going on in the setting in Lycosa in the background that the players are not necessarily going to be involved with directly, but they're going to want to know about it. So I'm just going to copy and paste this in, and I can read these to you. And I don't want to set them up as event entries because these are kind of like stuff in the background. It's not. They don't deserve their own interesting. So first event is the Bravos from House Dicolo and House Zwandun have clashed a few days ago. 2 were killed from Dicolo and 3 were killed for Zwandun, and many more were wounded on both sides. Dicolo and Zwandun have battened down the hatches. This is a civil war that has been brewing for a little bit, and Lagos is sort of ruled by 5 great houses of former pirates. Another event is the Dicolo ships tangled with a Zwandun ship about 90 miles outside of Lygosa northeast, and the Zwandun ship was much bigger and fended off both ships, sinking one. Loss of life was pretty horrific as both survivors limped into port just yesterday. And then there's a rumor Sharon Reevy, who's the head of House Reevy, widowed, has been seen in the company of one self-named Lord Zir, and they seem to be quite captivated with each other. Now, Lord Zir is an NPC who's been reoccurring and has been a patron and also an antagonist of the party, and they'll be very interested in him sort of socially climbing up the ladder because he's sort of has come back to Lygosa after a long period of being away, and yeah, he's ambitious as all hell. So that is interesting, but that's not the adventure. The adventure is going to be called the Tower of the Moon, and Tygash of the Nine Eyes, who's an NPC sorcerer that the players have had some dealings with before, sends Hannah Tanalorn to meet the NPCs. Hannah is the owner of the Tanalorn Estates, a very respected vineyard north of Lycosa, about 10 miles out. And Tanalorn Red and Tanalorn Table are some of the more popular wines in Lycosa, and she is accompanied by two capable looking bodyguards. Hannah has a problem for the last 3 months, and I'll paste this into. An ancient tower appears out of nowhere in her vineyard on the eve of a full moon. Each time it happens, the grapes wither and die. About an acre is affected, but an acre's loss could be absorbed. The monthly event scares her workers. Nothing comes out of the tower, but lights seem to flicker on the top floor. She's worried it is leaving behind corruption because the acre seems to recover in about 3 weeks, just in time for it to happen all over again. It is 2 days before the next full moon. So here's our our hook, and hopefully the players will say, oh, that sounds interesting, and want to go do it. And so in my game, in MMM, we don't count gold pieces. We do resources, which are sort of abstractions of gold, time, things that you might want to trade. And so she's willing to give 4 resources now and 4 resources when the problem is resolved. Or she can give, if the problem is resolved, she can give 6 resources and wine. But then the players will actually have to find another buyer for that, or drink it themselves, which is quite possible given who they are. Hi, if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. I'd love to provide more content like this, and your enthusiasm for these kind of things helps me keep going. And the likes and comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to throw those at me. And yeah, and there will be some links at the end of this to some other cool videos that I've done. Hopefully you'll enjoy those as well. Thanks. Edit. If I just hit image, that's an image that I have to upload from my hard drive, and I don't have those on my hard drive. I just have Windows open on my other. I went to Pinterest, which is another one of my favorite places to use for role playing games purposes, and I found this very cool map, and yep, and there's the map. So um, one of the things I do is I keep Scabard open while I'm playing, and I'll have maybe several windows of Scabard open, and I will be able to because we play through VTT, Foundry to be specific, and there is a Foundry plugin which I have not explored yet, but that is very exciting to think about. So I can just click on copy the image address, throw it into the chat of Zoom that we use, and then the players can bring up the map on their own computer and stuff like that. So this is great. And so yeah, I want to make a connection to and so this is the connection page. I wanted to show you this. So I can go through here, and if I say it's it's a setting place for storm clouds over Logaisa. Oops. Create a place. Okay. So then it gives me another one right underneath it. So I could do, like, if you had participant and you had several NPCs, you could just boom 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 boom, 1 2 3 4 5 6 NPCs, or if you've got events, it's all really nice to do that and keep things clean. This keeps everything really organized, and you can find stuff very, very easily. Like, I can go back to Lygosa. I can go down to the Tower of the Moon, and you can organize stuff, and you can get rid of things, and it's just a dream, basically. I have usually run my games out of just a Word document, or a Google Google document, So, like, now I want to go to the Tower of the Moon, and I want to kind of create the first event at the Tower of the Moon, right? Or I could just go in here and actually I don't even need to create an event. I could just put it here. So I'm just gonna copy and paste from my document. So the first floor, the bottom's like the map, but there are two figures that seem to be paralyzed. One is obviously a man at arms wearing chain and a longsword. The other seems to be a cook. They shimmer as if they're vibrating. They seem to age in front of the PCs, and the vibration is more pronounced as they and their clothing age, eventually becoming ghoul-like cadavers whose eyes start to glow. Then they will break free of their eldritch bonds and be growling and frothing and acting very aggressive. The warrior pulls the sword out, all rusty and pitted. They will attack, and then I have some stats for them because my game is pretty easy on NPC stat blocks, and so now I've got this as my first, entry of the first like adventure or whatever, and this is really simplistic stuff. I mean, I tend not to do dungeon crawls, and I'm kind of doing a mini dungeon crawl here, but it does demonstrate, what can be done with this really neat tool, and I just highly recommend it. I think it's absolutely awesome. So that's the bare bones. I mean, there's so much more to it than this, but I just and okay, again, um, it brings up a bunch of nouns, and I can say, don't ask me about, don't ignore mental in the future. I don't NA mix stick. I don't want social to be its own entry. I don't want the PCs to be its own entries. So there you go. But at least it asked me, and that is kind of cool. And also you get like um, these links. Let's go to. I don't want to. Oops. Yep, that's what I want. So all of these become links. Now, I need to probably go in there and let me see if I can get it to do. It didn't give me the opportunity before. No, okay, for some reason. Oops. I think I screwed up and edited stuff out. Oh well. I can. Oh, I've got it in my. I can just do this. Put it back in. Save it. I want to. Yes, here we go. Okay, so I want to make actually Hannah Tenelorn should already be, but I want House Reeve, and this is a group. I want and I can make this another group, and yet another group. Uh, this woman is a player character. I'm gonna just head of House Reeve. Okay, I'm not going to do the Zwandoon because the Zwandoon is the name of the house. So we're going to just skip that one. Okay, going to skip that one. And I've kind of already done these, so I'm not particularly care. So I'm going to connect this to um, leader of. No, she's not the leader of the Stormcloud. Okay, so what can I do here? Oh, I'll just clean it up later. Anyways, so this is a really cool thing. Now I have these links here, so if I go to the link, it'll take me right to House Dicolo. Now, House Dicolo doesn't have anything particularly amazing about it in there yet, but I can create that as I go along, and then I can create the connections between various people, and you can actually do. There's a family chart that you can have. You can do organizational chart. You can do like really easy stat, just simple little blocks of columns for stats. It's pretty robust. Now, this isn't really meant to be used in actual play. I do use it. It's really meant to help GMs and players organize their information, especially in very highly political campaigns and stuff like that, which ours tend to be in my gaming group, and have lots and lots of connections and things going on. So yeah, it's I highly recommend it. I mean, I would, there's a free version, won't allow you to put maps in, but you can certainly, and it's very reasonable. I can't remember what the legendary subscription is. I paid it a couple of weeks ago, and I've been very happy with it. So, anyways, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next time.